is we're so used to creating, but we create from the false sense of self. We create from our conditioning. And so once we've done the P, which is presence, so that we can be aware of what's going on in the environment, what's going on in our body, and be aware of just the sense of our being, right? We have to stop, pause, and then present. We want to check out so that we can become aware before moving into the unveiling, the unraveling, so that we can understand. And that's just what picking the story apart, kind of like what the chickens do when you put them in the grass. Like they just pick the grass apart. They pull it all apart and they see what's under there, right? Just like picking, yes, chickens. When you have chickens in the yard, they will wipe the grass out in 2 days. Like completely. And then you have just dirt, no more grass, because they just pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. So they're like literally getting into the bugs, the underneath surface. And so we want to pick away at the story to find out if it's true. We want to unravel it. We want to unpack it. Like my favorite author on this is The Four Agreements. And he's like, you didn't even decide on your name. The thing that you're going to use for the rest of your life was not even your choice. Your religion. You were told what to believe. You were told who to be. So we went to unravel. And then we navigate, which is what? Just pivoting, changing the trajectory, the old habits and behaviors. So this is who they said I was. And so this is what I did. And so now we're like, hey, no, hold on. Let's get present. Let's find out if that's true or not. And then let's change the habit and behavior to go according to who we have discovered, the uncover and discover of who we truly are. We're like, whoa, that's not me. That's what I used to do. That's what I used to be. And so that's how we find that space of neutrality so that we can rewrite the neural pathway. This is like Susie rewrites the story. We rewrite the inner dialogue. And it all happens in the end. So now that we've gotten those 3 steps, 3 chapters out of the way, today we were going to talk about creating. And then I want to talk about the reason that it's in this exact order. So what we've been taught in mindset is just decide on what you want and just push through and go get it. Don't worry about that. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just do it. Just, and it's like, that's what we've been told. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go get that man. And we go and visualize and we attract, we manifest that relationship according to the person who we think we are. So of course we attract the lessons that life treats us with to unveil and to uncover who we are. We do the same thing with the job. I just need a job. I just need to pay my bills. I just need to get a job. I just need to figure it out so I can get the heck out of here. And we just go take that job. But we do it according to what the world told us. How many of you chose the career that was safe? You did what you were told to do, right? You did the college, you did the years, you did the thing that was safe. And it wasn't from that purpose, that passion, that individuality and your gifts of what you have to share with the world uniquely, right? Mallory's raising her hand. So that's why the create is after the PUN. Now the PUN is just the process of life. It's like the tattering. We're just constantly getting present, constantly unveiling, constantly navigating. It's like this: try, assess, try again, or try, assess, tweak, right? So when we're tweaking from the person we want to be, because we've now unveiled who we're not. We've uncovered it so we can discover who we are. So I want to open with that, and the floor is yours. I want you guys to really dive in on what did you get out of this chapter? What stood out for you? Did you have a hard time creating the vision? Like, was it hard to go and imagine something that you've never thought you could experience before? Because that's like kind of a big deal, right? Like how can your brain know to go there if it's never thought it was possible before? So floor is open. Raise your hand or unmute yourself. Emily, same here. Same company within 9 months, 2 times. I drove a truck for FedEx for 7 years. Then I quit. I couldn't stay. My soul needed to be free. I got laid off from my safe job twice. All right. Someone, as if I hadn't even read it, tell me about the chapter. Go ahead, Joyce.
Well, I had a comment. I'm not up for just telling you about the chapter at this moment, but interestingly enough, Peggy and I have been talking about the vision work and coming up with that, and I've been working on it, but this morning it really hit me. I am so afraid to open my eyes and vision what it is I want to be. I'm so afraid. And I know why, because it's like, I don't believe that I can really have that, and I'm just going to be disappointed. So I just wanted to share that. That's the point I'm at.
That is so good. Such a beautiful revelation, right? And that comes through that practice of awareness. Like I'm willing, and especially working with a coach, and Peggy using this process is like, I'm willing to get present and unpack that story. What does it feel? So when even the thought of I can create the vision that I want, what does that feel like in your body?
I want to run and hide, which is my MO.
Yeah.
For not showing up.
Are you comfortable sharing what it feels like? Like where in your body? Is it prickly? Is it
across my chest, and it's real tight. It's almost like a force pushing me back.
Oh, wow. So let's just envision, like, let's just go there for a moment. If you feel safe going there.
I do.
So I'm wondering if it's like this imaginary, like it is not safe to open your heart, like protect. So that you
probably don't. So yeah, that feels pretty true. Yeah.
Like I must put this guard up. Think about when the guys are going into military, into war, when they put this iron
shield. Yeah.
I must protect.
Yeah. And that's the other issue I've been working on is I identified my food addiction, and that the reason I do the food addiction is for protection and protection. I can't think of the other one. Peggy?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it.
Comfort.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm curious.
Thank you. Comfort and protection.
If we could explore something else here, let's just see, like, if consciousness can kind of come in and play with us. So a couple of the girls and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. Some of them that are on the call, is I discovered that I was overeating or emotionally eating to hide what was like the possibility and probability, like the potential that was coming up that was way bigger than me. And it was like uncomfortable like, I was like a 2-year-old lab, like, right. Just trying to, so excited. And I had to go eat to settle that potential down. And so when you look at it that way, the potential is hiding in the physical body. Like we're literally carrying the potential around in weight because it is not safe for it to be seen. And so when you put all of these pieces together, I love to tell stories, like with the body. And so it's like, I want to create this vision. The heart says no. And then the overeating says, let's go store that somewhere. It's not safe to experience it or to materialize it. Just see what comes up for you if you're willing to explore there. Emily says that was the biggest aha for me. She's been working this piece through the book study. Exhale releases samskara. Inhale, rinse. Exhale, release. It is not safe to explore the massive amount of potential that is inside of me because, see what comes up. Because I'll be let down if I don't get it, because it's crazy to dream that. Who am I to think?
Other people will not get it, and they won't affirm it.
Okay, so if other people don't affirm it, then what?
That's past, because I am getting people affirming what I'm trying to do right now, and it's wonderful.
But we're
in the
dealing with the
past,
unconscious. So let's
yes, in the
define it.
unconscious,
So if they don't affirm it, then this is just your brain's unconscious story.
they think I'm trying to be better than them. I have to keep myself small so I don't step on anybody else's toes or make myself look more important than them.
Because then it will feel, or I will feel.
I will feel like I don't belong.
Like this is so fascinating because it's like we play 4 roles. And so if you're no longer playing that role, you won't belong. Because you like, we won't know where to, like, wait, what role am I playing now? Where am I now? Like in this unit, in this tribe, in this family, if my part was to be the sick one, if my part was to be the smart one, if my part was to be, right, whatever role we played, if you're no longer playing the small one.
I guess I played the smart one, but I made myself small. And I've had different family members tell me, you're so smart. You've always been smart. You're the smart one. And it's like, I am. I denied it so long that I don't even believe it anymore. I definitely am getting messages that I need to come out. Come out. It's safe to come out. And it's good news, but I'm so scared.
Yeah.
What if I fail? What if I look stupid?
What if? Are you willing to feel that in order to get to the other side? Are you willing to feel afraid walking across the bridge? When we're on Jumanji's bridge, right? It's just flinging across. Are you willing to feel that and recognize that it's just a thought creating sensation in the body?
That's good news.
You've just believed it. You believed it was scary. That's the power of our thoughts.
I have had a few moments in the last few years, a few experiences in the last few years where I just felt like I could take off and I could fly. And it was so cool. It was so wonderful. It's hard for me to believe it's okay.
It was wonderful
until I had to kind of fit back into my role. I had to, because I was kind of left to my own, I spent a lot of time alone. And sometimes I haven't been my best supporter.
Because you didn't know how, though, right? Yeah, now you do.
So if I fly, and it was so freeing, I guess the fear is, what if I crash? That's the old me is like trying to pull me back down. It's safer here on the ground. What do you want to go up there for?
Yeah. What if you never fly? What if that's for all of us? What if we never fly?
You get such a different perspective when you're flying.
How does that feel in front of your heart?
Happy.
How's the sensation? Has it released?
It has. It's in my throat now.
Because now it's time to express it. And what if it were just as easy? Just took a few moments of awareness to even open that up. Where has it not been safe to express or to share, to voice?
I have been having a few glimpses of my voice. And I like it.
Mm-hmm. What does it
I
feel
like my potentiality. I want to come out and play. I don't want to hide anymore. I want to be me. And let myself expand and not just stay in this little cocoon. I want to come out in the sunshine.
What's the sensation in the throat?
It's loosening up.
Describe it to me.
It's a little difficult to swallow.
Mm.
I gotta grab a Kleenex. Hold on.
Is it in front or in the middle or in the back? Where do you feel it?
In front.
Okay. Does it have a shape? Or how would you describe it?
It's kind of like restricting me, kind of like, sort of like chains. Or even maybe like bandages. So it moved like we call those bandages we used to use to wrap up our ankle when we had a sore ankle. They expand.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So do you feel it in front?
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's opening? Does it feel like it's pushing up against? Like, see if you can get a little closer to it and explore what it may be telling you. Our body's so brilliant when it's trying to send messages. An ACE bandage.
Yeah, ACE bandage.
Teamwork.
The ACE bandage is pretty worn out, so it's becoming kind of threadbare, and it's kind of ready to come off. So it's getting easier to swallow, and it's not muffling my voice as much as it was.
Good job.
It's loosening up more, and it's just kind of dropping now down here. And I feel like the woundedness, or like when you have that ACE bandage on and you take it off, you have kind of like little whelps, like from where it was pressing back. I feel like that's all like coming off. It's like disappearing, and it's starting to look like Okay, there's nothing holding me back.
See if you can bring some new fresh breath back there. And then exhale, releasing any residue. How's that feel?
Much better.
How would you describe it now?
I feel like it's releasing. And it's not holding me. It's not. It's kind of like saying, okay, little birdie, you're healed. You can fly now.
Yeah.
Your wings aren't broken anymore.
Yeah.
You can fly. After the last retreat in Gulf Shores, my sister Diane and Lynn, my niece, we went to Biloxi. And we spent a couple days there, and we went on the beach every morning. We were like the only people there. The weather was perfect. And Diane had given me a shawl. It looks almost like wings. And I brought it along. And Lynn wanted to do a photo shoot with us. So I brought it to the beach, and I found myself with that shawl. I was just flying. It was great. So I know that feeling in physical form, what it felt like. And I'm right there now. I can fly.
Yeah. It's materialized here on the earthly plane. Yeah, it's so good. You created it. Yeah. It's when we can lock in that vision and feel it viscerally and create that imprint in our knowing, in our being, then we can materialize it. That is exactly what consciously creating is. That's the law of attraction. When you can't feel it because you've turned off your emotions and your emotional body is not accessible to you, you can't create because you can't feel. You can't bring that vibration. That's the whole point of the law of attraction, is if you can feel it, you can manifest it. If you can imagine it. But when we cut our emotional body off because we've experienced pain, we lose access to creating.
I understand that. I agree. That is what I did for a long time.
Can you even forgive yourself for that? Like just recognizing that it's just the brain's safety mechanism. It's just the defense.
Yeah, I knew I was in survival mode for most of my life. I knew it, but I didn't know how to change that.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
It's happening. Thank you for sharing it with us. Such a gift. Because when you share it, when you express it, you give everyone else permission to receive it. It takes a lot of courage and vulnerability. But that's what we're here for. It's to all evolve for each other. That's the gift. And when we can release the nervous system's defense, and when we can release the ego and the fear and the judgment and the that the comparison, and that comes from us. It's not from the other people. It's us judging and comparing ourselves. It's not what other people think of us. Other people's thoughts can't hurt us. It's our thoughts about us that's so powerful. And so if you can look back at your thought, it is unsafe to be all of me. And then the action is to suppress. And the result is to live an oppressed, suppressed life and die to self, die to dreams, die to potential, die to your role on earth. And your role is to impact other people. It's for you to experience it, but it's also for all of us as a collective. Does that feel good?
Wow, it's amazing. This has been quite a journey just in the short time I've started being coached by Peggy, because this is probably like major breakthrough number 4, and this is a really big one.
Yeah.
That probably been building up to.
So good. Thank you.
But we had done some of the groundwork. Thank you, Peggy. And thank you, Kim. Thank you all for letting me just be myself and share this experience.
Once we have the groundwork and the tools, and we know we have access to those tools and we'll be guarded and protected, then we can go into that safety. Knowing we need each other. We need other people to hold that for us, to hold the belief, to hold the potential, the possibility. That's what we do for each other. And it's only the human species that do that.
Wow, that's quite a discovery when you realize that you're the only one that's really been holding you back.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of a relief. It's like, well, it's me, so I can make a choice. I no longer want to do that. I don't want to hold myself back. And then it's like you can start creating a vision, because it's like, okay, so I'm not going to hold myself back. So what do I want to be? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? How am I going to do it? It's like, it's all like that cocoon is wide open now. Here's the wings.
Yeah. You know, what's beautiful too is for so many of us, being codependent naturally, is we store all these emotions, other people's stuff on our backs, where all that compost is being collected. That's where the wings grow from. But we think, like our perception thinks we are serving them by disserving ourselves. And it's the complete opposite. We serve them by being the example of serving ourselves. That's why we're so frustrated and angry when we're shit magnets, codependents.
Definitely.
Because dying to our own potential and feeling like we get our value and worth from giving what we don't have, you can see how it's a mess. That's that wounded healer, the dynamics of taking our pain, projecting it, trying to fix it in order to fix us instead of just fixing us. If we just had permission to tap into our own potential and possibility. That butterfly is the example that lights up everyone else in this room. The person who's willing to show up and be vulnerable and allow this to process and integrate in front of our very eyes. That embodiment of what you just embodied, that permission, that's the example for others. Can you imagine if everyone had permission to be their potential? It's so interesting that I have to talk low because the echo sounds like an ultrasound.
Oh.
It literally sounds like new life coming on board. So feel into your body. Let's make sure we don't leave this wide open, and let's just allow this warm golden light just to come all the way through, killing through the throat, through the heart. Just allow it to just ooze in, filling the space, and allow that warm golden light. It has a little bit of weight and substance, and so just allow it to feel through all parts of your body, bringing in more of yourself, your higher potential and possibility. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be all of me. It is safe to bring my dreams and visions on board in this material plane, and just allow all of that to return back to you. Because what happens over time when we are afraid to be all of ourselves is we eject, we fragment our soul like leaves because it can't stay in this container. It's not safe. And so we want to bring those parts back on board. So think about this as just bringing the fragmented pieces back into wholeness, back into safety, back into possession of ourself. Just retrieving all of the little bits and pieces. Retrieving, bringing the pieces back. Imagine it's like a magnet. This warm golden light, this oozing honey through the body is a magnet to the little particles and pieces, bringing them all back. Dropping down through the heart, through the lungs where we process the sadness and the grief of thinking that this wasn't even possible. Just allow that to pass through there too. And then coming into the belly where we digest life's experiences all the way down to the root chakra where we bring in new life. We're grounded and supported all the way down the legs and the feet, which are what takes us forward. The hips thrust us into the new life. Our knees support us with flexibility in our ankles, and our feet point the way one step at a time, taking us into this new creation. So I'm going to invite you to envision the creation, whatever it is that you want to create. Bring the vision on board, and this goes for everyone else in the room. You can bring the vision of what you want to create. See her. What does she drive? What does she wear? What color is her hair? Imagine her in relationship. Who is she in relationship with? What does it look like? Is it warm and intimate? Is it inviting? Is it cozy? Is it small and intimate, or is it large and socializing? Like, just imagine whatever it is that feels right and true for you. Imagining all of her needs being met, the money in her bank account. Just envision that. And then when she has that amount of money in her account, what does that feel like in the body to be safe financially? Allow that to create an imprint of safety in the body. I am safe. All of my needs are met. I have the means and ability to earn, to manage. I have all of my needs met in relationship. Intimacy, however intimacy looks to you. It could be deep, meaningful conversation. It could be sexual exploration. And exhaling, releasing any residue of disbelief. And inhaling, bringing in more of yourself, more of the fragmented pieces, the dreams. Even when you were a child, what did that relationship look like? What is it that you desired? What is it that you wanted? What did that house look like? What did that car look like? And your family, your connections, your environment, what did all of that look like? See if you can bring that vision into play right here. Imagine you're drawing a vision board, but you're drawing it with you in it in live form. What else does she desire? What does she want to explore? Where does she want to travel? Does she want a deep, meaningful connection with nature? or with the materialistic world. Maybe it's fashion and design. Maybe it's simplicity. And just envision that. See if you can take it down to the very tiniest detail. Maybe even be the button or snap on the purse or shirt. Envisioning how you feel when those relationships are deep and meaningful. How does that feel inside of you? Is it safe? Is it open and expansive? What else do you desire? What do you want to build? What do you want to grow? What does that empire look like? It is maybe a cottage on the lake, maybe a hammock in the backyard. Where do you get that satisfaction and fulfillment, that ease, that grace? Maybe it's hiking on the mountain or riding on a bike. See if you can feel it in your body. What does it feel like to be free, to be expansive, to be explorative, to be creative? And then how do you want to contribute? How are you going to serve your part for humanity? Is it connecting with other beings, with animals, with people, with plants? What is your service, your legacy? What fills your soul? Feel that expand even outside of yourself. Maybe 2 feet away in the aura, maybe 4 feet away. Feel the expansiveness, the possibility and potentiality. Our greatest love is our service. Sometimes it's just in being, it's not always in doing. Maybe it's just sharing our essence with the world, sharing our hope, our visions. And sometimes it's being on the ground level and it's serving the sandwiches and feeding the animals. Just allow whatever it is for you to imprint in the body. How does it feel when you are doing this? When your monetary needs are met, when your relationship needs are met, when your service is met. And then we'll take it to envisioning your health, the ideal body shape, the vibrancy coming from the solar plexus and from the heart center. Feel that vibrancy, this golden color. Where we explore creatively, come up with ideas and visions to feed the world, to expand and evolve, to share, to connect, collaborate. Feel the muscles in your body feeling strong, bones feeling strong, the organs pumping with vibrancy, functioning at optimal level, optimal capacity. How does it feel to be in a well-rested and nourished body? Having your needs met, the food that nourishes you, clean water, long hours of rest and ease. And then bringing all of that together, health, wealth, relationships, and then adding the relationship with divine, with consciousness, with spirit, feeling full and whole, feeling the expansion in the heart, in the belly, in the root chakra, fully igniting the lower chakras to match the consciousness of the upper chakras, and just allow those to spin freely. And feel that gold warm elixir all the way down the back of the head, through the spine. Feeling that support, that knowing. Bring in any personal intention you can add to this. What else do you want to create? Maybe it's a new skill or talent. What else do you want to explore? Give yourself permission to expand even to that, going where the mind could never have imagined. Creating from conscious presence, from sacred soul essence. And imagine that warm golden elixir from the head all the way down to the toes. I feel it oozing through your body, through your system. Creating that imprint, solidifying the feeling of safety, security, stability. It is safe to be all of me. It is safe to express my potential and possibility. It is safe to tap into abundance. When I give myself permission, I also give others permission, and together we shall rise and explore and evolve. The optimal human capacity of being. Sacredness. I just receive it. Healing any disbelief. And opening and expanding the mind to create beyond. Tapping into the quantum field. And just knowing that this has already happened. You feel it, you explore it, you are there, you are here. And now it's a matter of linear time to catch up with the actuality of quantum time. And the only thing that can get in the way is your disbelief. So recognizing when disbelief comes in, that it is our responsibility to release it and to come back to the vision, come back to the imprint, and recreate the sensation that you feel right now. It is done. It is done. It is done. Feel into your fingers and toes, making little wiggles. Coming back to the here and now and allowing the acclimation of body, mind, and spirit. Just very slowly, maybe rubbing the palms together, giving yourself a little nudge or hug, squeezing the palms, shaking off anything residual, just release it. Just imagine how a puppy dog just kind of shakes itself after a bath. Just let that leave your body. Inhale, clean breath. Exhale, release residue. And when you're ready, we'll open the eyes. Back into the here and now. And it is your work, your job, to continue bringing yourself back into that experience. Back into that experience. Does anyone want to share, or have feedback or questions? Go ahead, Susie.
All right. I have a question for me and for everybody. When Joyce said, I feel like I could fly, I mean, I think we all have those moments, yeah, like those aha, those epiphanies, those days where we feel amazing. And then I want to stay in those moments, and I want to help other people get to those moments. Like in chapter 4 here, it says, Notice the thoughts that cause your suffering. Create new thoughts. Okay, so yeah, that's what we talk about all the time. Create new thoughts, new feelings, new actions. But I feel like it's so simple in theory. I think a new thought. I'm fabulous. I'm wealthy. It's safe to be abundant. But really, like, it's like you don't just slink out of that cocoon. It's like the cocoon is kind of still there. Like it's like a magnet or something. Like thoughts that I've been thinking for so long. I guess I don't know what I'm asking for. Like a secret pill that makes transition happen quicker and stays firmer. Because okay, I know for sure I'm flying. Then why am I not like rich, skinny, happy, intimate? Why do I keep creating the same shit? I know better. Like I so know better. So, okay, answer me that. I mean, I believe it. Everything is so true, but
So,
living it. Does
well,
it just practice time?
yeah. So we'll imagine this is the potential. And here's the bridge. So here's the now. I know we have a video of this somewheres. So this is the vision that you just envisioned.
Yeah.
And this is where you are now.
Okay.
Okay. So this is like the bridge of I'm no longer and I'm not yet.
Right.
Now, what has happened in the quantum field has happened. Did you all feel the imprint in the body?
Dazzling, sparkling, fabulous.
You felt what it was going to feel like right now, which means you've already experienced it. And listen, our entire life is only about a feeling. We just want the thing so we can feel a certain way. We want sexuality so we can feel a certain way. We want money so we can feel a certain way. We want fame so we can feel a certain way, right? We want that purse so we can feel a certain way. We want that car so we can, it's all so that we can feel a certain way. So if you just created the vision and you already feel that way, you've already created the potential in real time, in quantum time. Yeah. So the only difference now is the vision, the bridge to get there. So you're here, and here's the bridge you're walking on. And you're literally like, let me see if I can do this. You're just every day, every breath, every moment, you're PUN, 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 presence, unveil disbelief, navigate, keep walking, right? We call this tattering. Try, assess, tweak, try, assess, tweak. That's what's happening. Now, here's what happens. Imagine the bridge is like a seesaw, and here is disbelief and belief. So we are deciding according to our belief or disbelief. If your disbelief is heavy, guess what's happening? You, not the vision, you are pulling further away. It's like you're creating a drawbridge. So you distance yourself from the potential and possibility. And so our job, remember we talked a couple of weeks ago in meditation about trust being an action? Imagine trust is the anchor of the shoes. It's the magnet that keeps you going. So when you're not trusting, when you're out of trust, when you're out of belief, the drawbridge comes up and they become further apart. So it's the patience to endure the hike. Like, let's go on, what's the Camille Trail, whatever, like it's for days or for, it's just a matter of one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other. We're just Camille, what's it called, Peggy? I want to go do that. Caminos. I can't, I'm so terrible with all this stuff. Anyway, so as soon as your brain says, yeah, but, and then it gives an example, you've just lifted the drawbridge. Every time you give an example, you have entertained disbelief. Every time. Yeah, the Camino de Santiago. Someone else may have to say it. So I think it's a really good question. But the only reason you would be questioning it is because you're believing a story that was planted in your brain, which means it has more of those stories than the new stories. I think it's a matter of us training the brain to go here more than there. That's our job. Remember, the brain is just a processor solving problems. It's very generic. It doesn't care what kind of problems. Very generic. I mean, of course, we want safety, we want security, we want stability. It doesn't really care what it is. And whatever we are in the moment, we are experiencing, because the body and the mind have this relationship of what that means, what that feels like, what that does. We want to change that story. We want to change that dialogue. So we are going to tell the brain how to work for us. So we want to be in power and control. It reminds me of when my business owned me instead of me owning my business. When our emotions own us, we're emotionally unstable. We are not regulated because we haven't learned how to manage. Those things are all within our power. Gain power and control of your life. Living your life's legacy as an integrated being in your natural essence in ease and flow. How can we do it with more ease? Does that help? Does anybody else have a question? We have about 9 minutes. Question, comment? I know the next question is how, but we're going to do that next week. This week, your work is to stay in this vision more than not. This is recorded. You can go back to it and go use the visual. Keep going back to it. Keep going. It's what, like 40 minutes in or something like that, 30 minutes in. You can just go straight to it. Keep taking yourself there. Keep igniting, keep reminding yourself, and then pivoting. You already have the tools. PUN. When you're in disbelief, back to presence, unveil, navigate. So you're pivoting back into belief, pivoting back into belief, pivoting back into belief. And exactly how Joyce opened this conversation is how it works. She had the vision last year during retreat. That was October or November of last year. She is now living the vision. Like, she's like, oh, what? It's like our brain is so used to solving the problem, it doesn't realize once the problem's been solved. It's like it just keeps looking for the solution, doesn't realize it's already in the answer. I did that here. I was still trying to solve the problem. And before I knew it, I don't know, one day I was just like, holy crap, I'm actually living it. There's nothing to solve. Now what? Floor is open. Anybody? Let me read the comments. That was awesome. Thank you. No magic peel. Damn, I'm so glad I didn't miss the call today. That was awesome. Your butterfly wings are beautiful, Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. Releasing, yay. Thanks. It's such a great example of the work. No questions? You want to just go bliss off? Go ahead, Vicki.
Well, once again, first of all, it was just to honor Joyce to be able to bear witness with something so beautiful unfolding. And I just pray and hope that you don't ever look back and doubt that what happened was real, and a line in the sand for this beautiful transformation that's happening. And I wasn't going to speak because my book isn't here yet, so I haven't read the chapter, but in just listening, it made me think of something. And if I start to share something and it's not appropriate, just mute me or something. But, you know, my background, and I think I said before, I had to unlearn a lot of religious dogma. But in that process, it made the scriptures seem more vibrant and more real. And as you were sharing, Joyce, you used, I think the word, at first you said it kind of felt like chains, restrictive, and then kind of moved into this bandage of that was releasing. And it made me think of a time in my life when a scripture that came alive in a new way as I stopped seeing it through my false self and started to hear it through a new creative self. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just share it, not to put a religion out there, but just the power of the word that spoke to me in Isaiah, where God says, I will go before you and I will break down the gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron, those things that bind us. And then he said, I'll give you treasures in the darkness, and I'll give you riches stored in secret places, so that you'll know I'm God and I'm calling you by name, the true name. And that just always stuck with me, because sometimes we run from the darkness. We don't want to stay in those places of pain where the riches are being unveiled and revealed. And it just made me think of that. And I wanted to share it because it was just a real powerful experience for me.
Love that. Thank you. Can everyone relate to that with the binding? Yeah. And I think it is appropriate because I think many of us have that background and we now have a new perception of scripture that serves so much more powerfully than the restrictive damnation and, all of the way it was understood, Susie says, thank you, Vicki. Beautiful. Love Isaiah and seeing the Bible through a lighter, mystical lens. Exactly. It's the mystic of the living word, without binding even the word. Even the word. Mine didn't come from an upbringing in religion. It came from my own perception as a kid reading it and then interpreted in religion. But I can still see it. And the scripture, Peg, this is like common conversation, I think, for all of us. For sure, Chantel, she's like pastor of her a place. So scripture can be easily integrated into the work we do. It's all the same, getting to our truth. Yep. It's that thread. It's that thread of truth and that thread of knowing. And also recognizing that truth is to the eye of the perceiver. Like, so good. Buddha, Jesus, and all the mystics, all on the same team. Yeah. That's such a great place, great space to hold. I think that's where that new ease, that's where that new ease comes from. There's no, I remember when I was studying and searching, I was just like digging through the scripture, like Susie was asking a while ago, the how. I was like tearing through the Bibles and anything I can find, videos, cassettes, chasing revivals, whatever I could find to get there, which I think is a beautiful foundation. I don't think this work would be the same without that. All right, my friends. I want to see how this unfolds for all of you. And if you want to share your vision, I offer you to share that in the More Than Mindset group. If you're in Self-Healing Masters, I will see you tomorrow. This is the exact work we'll be doing. We're going to be working between befriending, being in the shadow and then transmuting the shadow into the light and playing between the two. We for sure don't want to throw the shadow away. We don't want to throw ego away. We don't, we need that to press up against us. We need that, bringing out that pressurizing, that shining. Love this create. I did a crafty activity with my sisters this morning, a Christmas tree ornament with my mom's buttons. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, that's it for this week. I will see you all next week for chapter 5, which is how to keep this going, how to actively create, how to bring it to materialization. But this week, really stay with this vision as much as you can, several times a day. Keep coming back to it. Keep reminding yourself, and then remind yourself you're already living it. Because you truly are, because it's kind of the thing. You'll miss it, like what Joyce and I were saying. You'll miss it if you don't ask your brain to show you where it is. All right.